but I didn't even finish a sentence before I got my next level. I got 4 levels off that. Holy shit, how much does that weigh? 28,000 pounds. Well, hello everybody. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to build an outpost from start to finish so that you can make a shitload of money and a shitload of experience. It does take a bit to get this set up, maybe about 30 minutes to an hour. But after that, you can just print money in about 10 minutes. Basically, we're just going to be making Tau grade rheostats and adaptive frames, and that's it. It's pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment. You have any observations? I love feedback. Now, we're going to buy the base materials that we need and produce everything else we need in the settlements. We're going to have a total of 3 settlements. As you can see, to start off this, I am going with some ease of play action here. I want 112 aluminum, 32 beryllium, 24 copper, 94 iron, 12 lubricant, 8 silver, and 31 tungsten at a minimum. You will need to get more tungsten later, and this is actually very easy to do, just buying resources and resting on Titan. All right, so what you're going to want to do is hit M. You're going to tab out to the system overview. You're going to hit tab one more time, and you're going to go to the Sol system. One of my favorite places to buy all this stuff is Titan. You're going to zoom in on Titan, and you're going to find New Homestead, and you're going to land here. Once on Titan, you're gonna just run straight. You can see this corridor all the way at the end here. And we're just gonna run straight inside to New Homestead. Now we're just gonna run down and we're gonna hop over this railing. We're gonna go straight inside to New Homestead. And then we're gonna run down here. And to the left is a store. And in this store, you can buy the majority of the raw resources that you need. I want to buy some stuff. We're going to go down to resources, and we're going to buy the main things that we need. So we need aluminum, beryllium, copper, iron, lubricants, silver, and tungsten for this build. Now to start off, we're going to need quite a bit of aluminum and iron more than anything. So this can be a little tedious. So we get our aluminum, and you'll need probably about like 3,000 for this. You can just do like a single mission, and that should get you the money you need to buy all these. These are really cheap materials. So we just need to come find a bench and rest for 48 hours game time relative to the planet we're on. So you sit down, you hit B. So you can see here it says 1 local hour, and then which says it's 15 hours and 55 minutes. So we only need to rest 48. So unfortunately, we're 15 minutes shy. So 4 hours. We only need to rest 4 hours here to get over 48 to reset the vendor. That's why Titan is a really good spot. And we're just going to repeat the process. So just basically buying aluminum and iron and anything else we need. And if you have the money, I highly suggest you buy as much tungsten as possible. Tungsten, again, is going to be the only real bottleneck to this because you're going to have all the iron, aluminum, and copper to continue to pump out solar panels, but you're going to need that tungsten to create the mining units themselves. You're likely going to be overburdened at this point. You can easily trade the resources to your companion and then fast travel to your ship. Now, the important thing to note about running over encumbered is it won't kill you. It will just get you down to 5% health, or like it's like roughly 5 or 10%. Once you're back at your ship in your pilot seat, we're going to hit M. We're going to tab out. We're going to tab out, and we're going to go to the Narion system. There are 2 planets we're going to be looking at. Androphon and Sumati. Now, Sumati has copper, and Androphon has everything else that we need. It has aluminum, iron, and beryllium, and a bonus material, Europeum. Now, you're going to see this overlay, and it's going to show you, here's beryllium, here's aluminum, here's helium-3, here's iron. Now, people have noted that it's different for everybody, and they're not seeing consistency with spots, so there's a potential that it's randomly generated. Other people have said they've been able to get all 5 resources in one spot, and that these figures are kind of just best guesses. My survey skills are very low, so that would actually make sense that this is not a completely accurate representation of the resources there, but it's fairly close. Like, if I land here, I can be fairly certain I'm going to get beryllium and aluminum. So you could play around with this, and you could potentially find all 5 resources. That's going to take you some time potentially, and it's kind of a luck factor. So we're not going to play with that. So our first outpost, we're going to focus on getting beryllium and aluminum. I'm going to pick this spot over here. All right, we're going to exit our ship. We're going to go into scan mode by pressing F. And you can see right here, I'm already sitting on a really good beryllium. Now, if I hit R to place the outpost down, in the top left, it will show me every material available resource in the vicinity of the zone of this outpost. So you can move it around and you can look to see what you have available. So we can see over here, the Europeum is over there. So we definitely want to get as many resources as possible. So it does appear that right here is actually a fantastic location for my outpost, which is great because I don't want to get too far away from my ship because I have to run around. All right, here's the dealio. We need aluminum, iron, and beryllium to scale production, and tungsten, of course, for these extractors. So starting off, we're just gonna do a couple extractors, okay? Now, what's cool is if you hit F and R, you don't have to go up and touch that thing. That was something I was doing in the last game and it's driving people crazy. Then you hit view and you can go to view mode. All right, and we can go into the build tab, and then this will show us where all of our resources are. So we have a very large area. We have a massive amount of aluminum over there. It is a good spot for beryllium and europium as well. Personally would like to have a little bit more aluminum that I'm seeing. Beryllium and copper are going to be the cornerstones. I would suggest you find a better site, but it's more than enough to do well. So we're going to get down 2 aluminum extractors, and we're going to get down 2 beryllium extractors. You could do one. You could just do 1 extractor. Realistically, we just need the resources, but so the power needed for this is going to be 20. So we're going to need so if you haven't picked up adaptive frames, what you're going to need to do is build an industrial workbench, and it's just aluminum and iron. So we'll make about, as many as you can with the limit. Make just the amount you need to put the storage up. I think like 3 or 6 at a time. But once you have, a ton of material, it's a lot easier. We're going to need a storage container to move all the resources into it, just make our lives a lot easier. We're going to be scaling this up over time. And then what you can do, tab out, is right click on the outpost and hit E on the container. Right click on the outpost, hit E on the container, and this links all the production to that container so that we don't have to run around and individually seek out all of them. And we're going to streamline the process here in a second to do another storage container that makes it even faster. Now we can go to build mode, and we're gonna place down. I'm gonna scroll all the way over to the solar arrays, and we're gonna place down 4 of these. Now you can see in the bottom right, it says total power 12. Each one of these is 6. We need 20. So there we go, we got 24. And if you were wise and you got the fiber as I instructed, you're gonna place a bed down. That way you don't have to run into your ship. I typically place my bed right next to the area of my main storage. And what we're gonna do is just collect a bunch of aluminum and beryllium. And that's why I was saying you don't have to have all that aluminum and beryllium. So here, 1 hour is 5 hours and 52 minutes. So this is like a really good place for getting massive amounts of production. So resting 4 hours gives me 24 hours. You don't have to rest a full 24-hour day unless you have a massive amount of storage. So I probably actually could have just rested 1 hour. So you can see that this is full of aluminum and beryllium. Yeah, we realistically only need to rest 1 hour to get 5 hours of production. So here we go. Boom, boom, boom. We're overburdened, and that's cool. I'm going to do this 3 times because I just don't want to have to come back here. We're going to come back and do the final touches here in a bit. So let's hit FR. I would like to, at a minimum though, get the landing pad down. That way when I come back here, it's easier for me to move about. And I tend to like to put my landing pad right here next to all the fun stuff. I can move it later if it's on a resource. And cargo link is something we're going to do later. And the transfer container is only 8 iron, it's 5 tungsten, which is quite a bit, and 4 lubricants. This is a good one because it allows you to transfer the resources straight into your ship. More importantly though, it just like kind of sucks material out of these containers. Now, you can link containers in person. You can just go down to output link and link it like that. And now it will suck it out. And so I've had issues where I have multiple containers and they take forever to cycle. But if you have a chain of events linked through this, it will just suck it out of all the containers. And it's just really easy. So you just sleep, you come up to this unit, and it will just pull it from all the containers that you have. So right now we have 1, so it's not a big deal. You can see we don't have to come back here for aluminum and beryllium for quite some time. We have a landing pad. We have the basic things all set up here. It's beautiful. Now I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to try not to run over encumbered, but you can see that when you run over encumbered, your health goes down. It will not kill you. It will make you stronger. No, it will get you down to about, I think, like 10% of your health, and then it stops. I don't know if this is an intended mechanic or if eventually you'll die if they patch it. Lots of patches can change things. So then we're gonna go in our ship, and you can hit R to go straight to the cockpit. All right, so we have the aluminum, we have the beryllium, and now we need iron. So we're gonna come over here for iron again to look for iron. And we can see there's lots of iron around here. I don't see any other resources but iron. That's kind of been my experience in general. So let's find the biggest veins. We have a big old vein of iron right here. So, okay, we're gonna settle down right here, and we're going to go into view mode. Yeah, we have an enormous amount of iron here. This is beautiful. We're gonna slap down 2 extractors. We're gonna slap down two solar arrays, a solid cargo, a transfer container, and now we're at a place where I'm not afraid. I already had some pre-made adaptive frames. My apologies. You know, you build your storage. So you need 3 adaptive frames per storage, and we're gonna go into view mode. If you right click, you can switch the side that it snaps to. Someone told me that in my last video, very useful. And so now that we have an unlimited supply of iron and aluminum and adaptive frames, we can actually like really go crazy here and build out proper storage for once. But for the sake of the video, I'll try stacking 3. I know it's really easy to do. Let's link both of these guys to the bottom container for now, and let's get a bed down. We can move these things as needed. All right, so just sleep 1 hour, and boom, we have 83 iron. Not bad. Sleep another hour. Yeah, a ton. So now we have hundreds of iron, and so we have unlimited iron, pretty much unlimited aluminum and beryllium. So now we can just build a bunch of adaptive frames, and we're a cakewalk now. And now you don't have to worry about those resources. You have everything you need. We're just gonna keep it simple with the crates. So we need to go and get the copper next. So let's do this. We're just going to link these up one at a time. I'm just gonna go kind of in tandem. It doesn't really matter what the last one is as long as they're all connected, because it's gonna go right here. So now they're all gonna go there. So I can just run up to this unit and suck them all out of everything here. Makes it really easy. I put this right next to where I'm gonna put the landing unit. And so now I can put the small landing pad like right here, and then I can get off my ship and I can just go up, get all the resources. And we're gonna place eventually 2 cargo link containers here. We're gonna need a bunch of 0 wire for that. We're gonna do that part last because I don't know how much resources you have. So I have everything I need now to go make the copper base, strut over to our ship, and we're gonna go to the next planet. Just remember, you can run over encumbered. It won't kill you, it will just hurt you. And we're gonna go to Samati, and we're gonna find a area with copper. Pick wherever you want. There's a lot of other useful resources. Try this spot right here. So we've landed down. I'm gonna hit R. We have copper, water, and tetrafluorides in this area. Now we want as much copper as possible. So we're gonna place right here. We can always destroy this area and replace. So F, R, V, and let's go look for copper. I find this to be a little bit faster personally than scanning, but not always. So you can see we have one little area of copper. I would suggest finding a much larger area for copper. For the sake of this video though, I'm just gonna leave it like this. So we're gonna place a couple of these down. We still have enough tungsten, and we're going to just start placing everything that we normally would. So solar arrays, solid storage, and the transfer container. Base dock, right so. And we're golden. So right click, link container, link this main container here, get some more storage down. Remember, you can right click to switch how it works, and then just link everything in a pattern you find reasonable. Link to all of them and link it to this guy. That way, when you have excess, they sit in storage. All right, bed. I always suggest you build a bed and an industrial workbench on every planet. So now here's 1 hour and 33 minutes. So this is not the ideal place to wait for resources because of that reason. We're gonna have to sleep a little bit longer here to get productivity. So I'm gonna be building something in a second here to show you how to make this your life easier. But try to get as much copper as you can so you don't have to come back here for a while. Now that we have what we want, we're gonna make 0 wire. I think we need 6 in total. So all the way at the bottom here, 0 wire. Let's make 9 just to be safe. You're gonna need 8 0 wire in total for all of the connectors. We're gonna have 2 connectors at our main base. All right, so what we're gonna be doing is going all the way over to miscellaneous, and you're gonna put down a cargo link. And I typically like to place this right next to where I land with the entryway facing the same direction. And oh my God, it is so hard to get things straight in this game and it drives me crazy. There we go. And we're just gonna link this to here. And so it's gonna pull from everything into this. And once I link another cargo link to another cargo link, it will ship those resources to my main base. So we don't ever have to come back here unless we need an enormous amount of copper and we don't want to wait for cargo. But to be honest, we can rest for quite some time. We're gonna go back to the moon, and we're gonna go back to our aluminum outpost first. Make the aluminum our main base because we want the beryllium the most, more so than iron and all that, for what we're gonna be crafting to make money. Remember to make sure you have an industrial bench in case you need to craft something and you screw up. All right, we're going to build 2 cargo links here, one for the copper moon and one for the iron base. And we're going to have it with, you see those 2 inventory storages? That's where we can pull resources from. So that's what we want facing to make our lives easier. And then we can walk right to them. So we're going to link this guy to the Samati copper base. And now this will bring copper to us, straight to our base. And we need to go build one of these on the iron area. So we're going to get back on our ship. And we're going to go to our iron, and we're going to slap this guy down too. F, R, V. And again, same principle. I like to keep it right next to where I land. Oh, wow, look how tight that is. That's pretty awesome, actually. You can definitely play around with this, make it tighter. All right, go up to the control panel. So now we have everything linked. We can go back to the aluminum base, and you can name these. I would suggest that you do. So we're going back to outpost 4, which is the aluminum base. So we have the copper linked from the other planet, we have the iron linked from the other outpost. Everything is flowing, and you can definitely move these around. So now we have beryllium, aluminum, copper, and we can rest 8 hours here, and that's 46 hours of production. Pretty crazy. So that's why you want to put your main base on an area or moon that has just really crazy time. There actually might be a better moon for this in the system that you can make your hub. All right, so this is outgoing, which is basically moving out all the aluminum. This is incoming, so 14 copper so far. Not a great haul. You have to give your cargo people time to kind of acclimate. I personally just go outpost to outpost. After resting for a period of time, I land, and then I come up to the transfer containers, and I just load up. Now you can transfer straight to your ship too, and I eventually get to a point where I'm over like 1,000 pounds. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, you can print hundreds of thousands with this setup. You actually don't even really need to do that much. You're gonna go up to your system here, and you're gonna craft Tau grade rheostats. These sell for 10 a pop with 0 in trading, or 257 copper, 821 beryllium. I'm getting 100 XP per. I can get thousands of these. Every time I do a stack, it's 1,000 credits. So what you're going to do is scale up to where you have a lot of storage and as many rigs as you possibly can handle, and then you can just sleep a couple hours and just go outpost to outpost, just pulling in the resources, and you're pretty much done. 332 copper, 323 copper, 323 copper. So I just pulled in like about 1,000 copper, roughly 10,000 gold when I convert it. And so here's my trick for doing this rapidly. If you have a better method, please let me know. If you highlight it and then you hit enter, it will automatically go up. So what I found to be the trick is if you put your cursor between the 2 crafting items, it won't proc them. So I can just sit here and hit enter, click once, craft, hit enter, click once for max craft, enter, enter, click, enter. So you should have scaled up by now and have an insane amount of every single extractor going. Remember, on this planet, every hour is 5 hours, 52 minutes, so you want to sit here. Copper is going to be your biggest bottleneck, so I would have like 70, 80 storage containers and 2 outposts with as many drills as you can get. That way, when you go there, you can get like 3,000 a pop per outpost. They'll give you 6, and at about this time, if you're sleeping on the planet and collecting just normally, roughly I would say this should take you no more than 10 minutes to get enough beryllium and copper to make 6,000 of these gears, which is going to net you 60,000, and about 6,000 aluminum and iron, which will make you 6,000 frames, which will sell for 3 gold a pop, so it's like 18. Let's just round this up. So we got about like 80,000 worth of credits in 10 minutes, and an insane amount of levels to be gained from this industrial workbench. And we'll do the adaptive frames first. And again, we're just going to find the point between 2 things, and we're going to hit enter, and we're going to do this really fast. So you can see how fast I can do this. I'm already got a level, and I'm level 28, so that's no fault. So I'm already halfway through a level, but I didn't even finish a sentence before I got my next level. Same thing down here. And this is what I was trying to tell you. I was going slow just to make a point. Oh man, almost another level too. Oh, we did. It had to catch up. Level 36, how many levels did I get? I got 4 levels off that. And you can, of course, spend those however you want. Commerce is one I would really recommend. I got rank 2 in commerce. Holy shit, how much does that weigh? 28,000 pounds. You're not fitting that in a cargo hold on your ship anytime soon, bub. So yeah, don't even come at me in the comments section with that shit about fast traveling. You ain't fast traveling ever again. But you know, walking is really not that difficult in this game. So get in your ship, and we're gonna go to one of the best planets that I have found personally. If you have a better planet, please tell me. But we're going on to Neon City. Now, Neon City has 4 vendors that we can sell to for a total of 28,000 credits. Not only that, this is an excellent way to leverage your money to buy ammo, everything else you need. All right, so a good frame of reference is here is Nerion. Here's the Sol system, here's Alpha Centauri, and we're going to volley all the way down here. So we can go from Nerion to Olympus to volley. And it's very easy. And we're going to go to the planet Volley Alpha. And we're going to go to Neon Core. See, I've already been to Neon City, so I can warp right into the core. All you do is land on Neon City and run to the elevator, run through some shit, and you go straight to the core. So I can spawn right in here. I don't have to run. This is way better than Mars. The 4 places we're going to go to is the Trade Authority for 11,000, the Mining League for 6,000, Newell's Goods for 6,000, and Seg Hart's Outfitters for another 6,000. These are all places we can sell everything, and we can sell for between 28 to 29,000. Right off the bat, we're going to go to the Mining League right here. And you're going to go up this super, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but you can see him. We're going to go up to him. Another good thing about this too is that while I'm here, I can buy things that I need. Like for instance, I do need more tungsten. He has 29 tungsten for sale, so I can buy that. We're gonna hit Q, and I'm gonna come down and just show you. So the adaptive frames are worth 18,000, just as expected, and the grade resonance are worth 64,000. I do have the trade skill, which gets me higher. So without trade skills, you're looking at just probably like a little bit under 80,000. Definitely would recommend getting the barter skills as fast as you possibly can. Anyway, he only has, of course, the 6,000 plus what I sold him. So I'm gonna sell him 6,000 worth of these adaptive frames. Neon City is also just a fantastic location. It has gun shops, has armor shops, and they have some really good guns and some really good armors. Some of the higher tier like bounty hunter armors that have insane durability. I did a bit of digging. There were a lot of recommendations, and I checked all of them out, and Neon City's the one. Now, there is the key, which is the pirate fort. However, they hate my guts, but that's a good one too, because they have multiple vendors with 11,000. I'm going to go with Neon City just because you don't have to be friends with anybody to come here. You can have all the enemies in the world you want, and you can have all the friends in the world you want. And we're going to go to the Trade Authority next, and the Trade Authority is right here. And he has an 11,000 cap. Hit Q. And we're going to sell the adaptive frames for 11,000. I don't know about you, but I like to buy any med packs that I can. They're really expensive. They're like 500 a pop. I also buy trauma packs. So it's typically best to buy these things before you start selling. That way you don't have to keep going back and forth. I'm just going to sell my excess beryllium. I also have European, which I gathered on the planet. So you can actually just gather that at 3 a pop. If you just want money, like I would almost do European farming to an extent. Now we're going to walk over to Sagart's Outfitters. So you see how easy this is? I just warp right in the core. I go building to building, and then I can sleep for a total of a relative 48 hours here, which is like, I think about 35 hours. I'm going to sell me adaptive frames. Gonna sell European iron. Yeah, I forgot about that too. You plus all the excess. Like I'm probably gonna make more like 90,000 off of that 10-minute run. All right, we need to go to Newell's Goods. Newell's Goods is actually, sorry, the other way. I got twisted around. I should have gone to Newell's Goods first probably, and then gone to the miners. So you go past the Firestar Ranger, and Newell's Goods is right here. And Newell's has good resources too. Adhesives, and some of the biopressants and some of the harder stuff to find, fiber. So you have everything you need here. The problem, Titan's still my favorite place just because it's a lot easier to rest. You only need to rest 4 hours to reset everybody, but they don't have the money flow. So you got another 5,700 here. And then, so yeah, here's the bread and butter. We haven't even begun to sell these yet, but I think you get the point, right? We need to rest 24 hours. There are benches literally everywhere here, which makes it incredibly easy. So we just sit in a bench, rest 48 hours, and we repeat the process. And again, you could be buying ammo and doing all types of stuff. 48 hours here, so we're going to rest 35 hours, and we just need to rest 13 more hours, and then everybody will reset. And we go back up, and there you go. He's reset. That's it. You just repeat the process. So thank you so much for watching. All right, have a good day.